Did you know that nearly 70% of kids today are sleep-deprived, and it's seriously affecting their brain development? Or that kids who experience too much pressure to perform are 30% more likely to face mental health struggles later in life? It's a harsh reality, but many of the everyday choices we make as parents can have long-lasting effects on our children's growth. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 hidden traps that can derail your child's development. These are things that might seem harmless or even helpful, but they could be doing more harm than good. We'll dive into how overscheduling, too much screen time, and emotional neglect could be holding your child back, and what you can do to fix it. Stay tuned to learn strategies that can make a real difference in your child's future. It's time to break free from the myths and create a healthier, happier environment for your little ones. Chapter 1. Overscheduling. The unseen stress factor. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to think that the more activities your child does, the better their development will be. But did you know that overscheduling can actually hurt your child's growth? A study by the American Psychological Association found that too many scheduled activities can lead to increased stress in kids. When children are constantly rushed from one activity to another, they don't get enough time to just be kids. They miss out on free play, which is crucial for their creativity and social skills. Instead of piling on more activities, try this: focus on quality over quantity. Limit the number of extracurriculars to 1 or 2, and make sure there's downtime between them. Children need time to relax, reflect, and explore their own interests. This downtime helps their brains recharge, which is important for learning and emotional well-being. Additionally, make sure your child has time for unstructured play, even if it's just an hour a day. Research shows that free play boosts problem-solving skills and emotional intelligence. You don't need to plan every minute of their day for them to grow and thrive. A great rule of thumb is to ask yourself if the activity benefits your child in the long term or if it's just adding pressure. If it's the latter, it might be time to reassess. Always remember, your child's happiness and mental health matter more than meeting every social or academic expectation. Chapter 2. Screen time. The silent brain drain. Let's face it, screens are everywhere. From smartphones to tablets and TV, it's easy for children to get absorbed in screens. But the question is, what is it doing to their development? According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, kids who spend too much time on screens show poorer attention spans and worse academic performance. Screen time has been linked to poor sleep, too. A study in JAMA Pediatrics found that children who use screens before bed tend to have worse sleep quality, which impacts their ability to focus the next day. Sleep is a key factor in your child's cognitive development, and without it, they're likely to struggle with learning. To tackle this issue, set clear boundaries. One helpful strategy is the no screens rule during meals and 1 hour before bedtime. You can also designate screen-free zones in your house to help reduce screen dependency. Encourage your child to pick up hobbies that don't involve screens, like drawing, reading, or playing outside. These activities promote cognitive development in ways that screens just can't. It's also important to monitor what they are watching or playing. The content should be educational and age-appropriate. Research shows that educational screen time, like apps or shows that promote learning, can be beneficial. Just make sure it's balanced with other developmental activities. Lastly, make screen time a family affair. Watch TV shows or play video games together so you can engage in conversation and guide your child's understanding of what they're viewing. This makes screen time more interactive and educational, rather than passive. Chapter 3. Neglecting emotional intelligence. The missing link. Emotional intelligence, might sound like an adult term, but it's something that can, and should, be developed in children from a young age. Studies show that children with high emotional intelligence tend to have better social skills, perform better in school, and even have healthier relationships as adults. But many parents focus more on IQ, forgetting that A is just as important. Teaching emotional intelligence involves helping your child understand and manage their emotions. One of the easiest ways to do this is by validating their feelings. Instead of brushing off their emotions with, "Don't worry, it's not a big deal," try saying, "I can see that you're upset. Want to talk about it?" This simple strategy helps kids feel heard and builds their emotional vocabulary. Another great tactic is role-playing. By acting out different social scenarios, children can learn how to recognize and react to emotions in others. For example, you can pretend to be a teacher and your child can be the student, practicing how to express frustration in a respectful way. Also, encourage your child to express themselves through creative outlets like drawing or storytelling. These activities help them process and articulate their emotions in a healthy way. Let them know it's okay to have feelings, but it's how we handle them that matters. And finally, remember that emotional intelligence is caught, not taught. Children learn by observing their parents and caregivers. By managing your own emotions well, you're teaching your child by example. Show them how to handle frustration, sadness, or even joy, and they'll follow suit. By investing time in helping your child understand their emotions, you're giving them tools that will benefit them for life. The ability to recognize and manage emotions is key to forming healthy relationships and being resilient in the face of challenges. If you're finding this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more tips on how to raise a healthy, confident child. Chapter 4. The pressure to conform. When expectations stunt growth, as parents, we all want our children to succeed. But the pressure to conform to certain expectations can actually hinder their growth. Research by the Child Mind Institute reveals that high parental pressure can lead to anxiety, depression, and even academic burnout in children. It's easy to forget that not all children develop at the same pace, and each child has unique strengths and interests. Instead of pushing your child to fit into a mold, take the time to understand who they really are. Observe their natural interests and strengths. For example, if your child is interested in art but struggles with math, support their creative passion instead of pressuring them to excel in subjects they may not enjoy. This will help them develop confidence in their abilities. One way to reduce the pressure is to set realistic, achievable goals. Celebrate small wins along the way, rather than just focusing on big milestones. This builds a sense of accomplishment without creating an unhealthy expectation for perfection. Encourage your child to see mistakes as opportunities for growth rather than failures. Also, foster an environment that values effort over outcomes. Research by Carol Dweck in her book Mindset shows that praising effort instead of innate ability boosts a child's resilience and encourages them to keep trying, even when things get tough. When kids learn to embrace challenges, they develop a growth mindset that will serve them well throughout life. Encourage your child to follow their passions, even if they don't align with conventional expectations. Supporting their individuality helps them build confidence and a sense of purpose. Remember, it's not about meeting society's standards, but about letting them find their own path to success. Chapter 5. The fear of failure. How overprotectiveness limits learning. We all want to protect our kids from pain and failure. But what if I told you that the fear of failure could actually limit their learning and growth? Research from the Harvard Business Review found that children who aren't allowed to experience failure struggle to develop resilience, perseverance, and problem-solving skills. These are the very traits that will help them succeed in the real world. To combat this, we need to allow our children to fail in a safe and supportive environment. Instead of rushing in to fix every mistake, encourage your child to problem solve and learn from their failures. For example, if your child struggles with a homework assignment, instead of completing it for them, offer guidance and let them try to figure it out on their own. Failure is a powerful teacher. In fact, Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset teaches children that failure isn't the end, but a necessary step in the journey toward success. When kids see failure as part of the learning process, they're less likely to fear trying new things. Another way to reduce the fear of failure is to model resilience yourself. Share your own stories of setbacks and how you overcame them. This shows your child that it's okay to face challenges head-on and that success often comes after many failures. Lastly, try to embrace mistakes as learning moments. When your child makes a mistake, praise their effort and the lessons they can take away from the experience. Over time, your child will develop a mindset that embraces challenges rather than avoiding them. Chapter 6. Inconsistent Parenting. The stability gap. Inconsistent parenting can have a profound impact on a child's emotional and social development. Research from the University of Minnesota shows that children who grow up with inconsistent rules, emotional availability, and discipline are more likely to struggle with anxiety, depression, and behavior issues. Consistency is key in helping children feel safe and secure. One strategy for creating consistency is setting clear expectations. Whether it's about household chores, behavior, or schoolwork, make sure both parents are on the same page. When rules and expectations are constantly changing, it can create confusion and anxiety for children, as they never quite know what to expect. Another important factor is emotional consistency. If you respond to your child's emotions in unpredictable ways, sometimes with warmth, other times with frustration, they may feel insecure and unsure about how to express themselves. A consistent, calm approach to emotional regulation helps children feel more grounded and confident in their relationships. It's also crucial to follow through with consequences. If you set a rule, make sure there are consistent consequences when that rule is broken. This teaches children the importance of accountability and helps them understand the connection between actions and outcomes. Additionally, encourage routines. A predictable routine can bring comfort to children, especially younger ones. Simple things like a regular bedtime, meal times, and after-school activities create a sense of order and stability in their lives. Studies show that children thrive when they know what to expect each day. Finally, remember that consistency doesn't mean perfection. Parenting is challenging, and everyone makes mistakes. The key is to be as consistent as possible, but also to admit when you've been inconsistent and make an effort to correct it. This honesty helps build trust and teaches your child that everyone, even parents, can learn from their mistakes. By ensuring stability in your child's life, you're providing them with a solid foundation for emotional security and development. Stability is not about being rigid, it's about offering the support and consistency that helps them feel safe and loved. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more expert parenting advice.